FUD with me today. Yeah, you see, how about this? It's 8:56 on a Thursday, and I'm not at school. Well, if you can kind of see out the window, it's a little bit white out there. We didn't get a ton of snow, but we did get some. It was enough to get us out of school. The western part of our county, though, is where, if you don't know where we're at in North Carolina, we are where Tennessee, Virginia, and North Carolina all meet. Right there in that corner is where we live, and that western part of the county is where most of our snow accumulates at. It's a whole lot more mountainous in that part of the county and a little bit higher in elevation, so I'm sure that area of the county is why we're not at school today. But on top of that, we have got some terrible cold wind chills. Right now, truck says it's 16 degrees and the wind's probably blowing about 20 miles an hour, somewhere in there. So it is frigid. I'm gonna pull in here at the dump, throw some trash off, and then we got some things we need to discuss. Pretty exciting day today. So today is an optional teacher work day for me, which means my option is to not go. So Lucy's still gonna go hang out at daycare. This little one moved up to the next room at daycare this week, so she's working her way up the ladder, and she turns 11 months old tomorrow. It's hard to believe. We're in the middle of planning a 1-year-old birthday party. I can't believe we're already to that point, but it is here. But while she's at daycare, I'm going over to my buddy's house and picking up I don't want to say a new piece of equipment, but it's not really a piece of equipment. I guess I should say a new implement. And I am so stinking pumped to finally get one of these. I was gonna go down in the state and buy a brand new one, and then mentioned it to my buddy that I was gonna get one. He said he's got a few of them laying around, so I'm just gonna go get a used one. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, although the title probably gave it away. But let's go drop little Miss Elmer Fudd off here and get on over to his place and see what this thing is. I am pumped. Here we go. Well, I wasn't able to film anything, plus the wind's howling so much you wouldn't have heard much anyways. But we did get this thing loaded in the bed of my truck somehow, because I was anybody that knows me, my close buddies, and my wife in particular, knows that I want a flatbed for my truck so bad. And this instance right here would have been a perfect example of where a flatbed would have came in extremely handy. But on top of that, I thought I was real close to getting one. Turn this down. Thought I was real close to getting a flatbed paid for by insurance, because it looked a little sketchy there for a moment of getting this thing loaded. I just knew we were about to take my bed out, but we didn't, luckily. All right, well, I have finally made it up here. I got to dig some gloves out. But had to make a pit stop. So my buddy had 2 separate ones of these unrollers. He had a couple, actually. This one that I ended up getting needed new hoses and a couple new fittings on the end. So he cut me a little bit better price on this one, and I was able to stop at the parts store and get the hoses that I needed. And I want to just show you how beefy this thing is built. So if lots of you all that watch these are not, may not be into farming yourself. You just like watching it, so it may be something that you've never looked into before. But looking at this from behind, you've got this triangular frame. Most of the ones that you go to like a store and buy, the top link where it attaches to the tractor, you've got 3 points of connection. You got one down here, one over here, and then on most of them that you can go and buy, the top piece attaches about right in here. And the one that I was going to buy from there's a little tractor dealership, and they had implements for sale too. That's how it was. And where are those stinking gloves? I've got some insulated ones somewhere, but I am not seeing them. It is cold. Anyways, that's how the one was that I was going to buy new. And this one is built 3 times heavier than the one that I was going to get. And I got it for half the price, pretty much, of the new one. I think I've lost my gloves. Oh, they're in my back pocket. They've been in my back pocket the whole time. I just got to do a little bit of work on it. So before I can hook it up, I do have to put these hoses on, which I've already got one of them pulled out. That's what I've got, this little bag kind of screwed down in that hole. Got to take this one off. That one's already out. Just throw my new hoses in and find me a way to wrap them around up here at the top so they don't dangle and get messed up. And grab a couple chains, set this thing off the truck, and then we'll go see how it works. Probably need to grease it. He didn't use them all that much, so I don't know when this one's been used last. It's probably needs a little grease. So here's to hoping we don't freeze to death along the way. The wind is ripping. It is, truck said it was 18 degrees, and it is blowing snow pretty good up here too. So I'm going to try to do this just as quick as we can because I'm freezing. I'm going to try and get this old girl cranked up. It has been plugged in all night. However, this tractor and the one sitting right over here, we've got them plugged in, but they're plugged into a timer. So that timer's set for them to really be plugged in, I think in the afternoon and early in the morning, because sometimes we'll come feed, Josh will come feed before work, or I'll feed early in the morning on Saturdays, or he's coming or I'm coming after work around 4 o'clock. So as of right now, I don't know that they're plugged up, now that I'm thinking about it, because it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to go back up here to where the plug-in is and turn on the little timer till it's just on completely right now, and let both of these be sitting here and warming up a little bit while I replace those hoses, because they're going to need it, because it is chilly. If you watched the last video, this little fella hadn't got to move very much since that last video, because right as we were ending up that video, actually I don't know if I even filmed any of this ditch over here or not, but long story short, while we were doing this ditch over here, the trap came off. So had to take our time of the afternoon. By the time I get done feeding, don't have a whole lot of time, and so took me a couple of days to be able to get any work done on it, and by the time I did, I've had other stuff to be doing. So let's see, here's our little timer. I don't even know how to turn it on. Let's see here. I'm going to mess around with this for a minute and try to get this going. I'm going to be honest. I couldn't figure that little contraption out at all. There's a way to turn it on to your on time and off time, and it looked like it may have been on. So we're going to give it a shot and see. I don't know for sure. We'll let the glow plugs run a minute. Turn off 580 WKSK. Come on, old girl. All right, I'm going to do it again. Let the glow plugs run another 10 seconds, and we'll give it a shot here. Oh, yeah. So I ended up kind of moved some stuff around. Oh, and she died. That's not good. I hope that doesn't mean that the fuel's gelled up, which is a very good possibility. However, it had anti-gel in the fuel already. Yeah, that's not too good. This thing's got an issue where it'll lose prime. I don't know. So if you don't really quite know what I'm talking about, it's like the fuel that is between the engine and the fuel tank, which is back behind of me here. It's like the fuel from the fuel filter, which is right here at the corner of the cab. It's like the fuel from here back will leave and go back to the tank. And so sometimes when you start it, it does exactly what it just did, where it'll run for a second and then it'll die. And there's a hand pump on the fuel tank, or excuse me, on the fuel filter out here. And as you pump that hand pump, it will suck fuel from the tank back behind of me up to the engine. And you'll have to go out there and pump that to get fuel coming back to the fuel filter. You know, there's some seals inside of that little hand pump that go out, and every once in a while you'll need to replace those. But I think I've already done that. I think I replaced them. So I'm not quite sure what it is. It does it, once a month, once every other month or something. But I'm afraid that it could be that it's gelled up. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with that, especially some of you Arizona people, you don't have to worry about things like that, probably. Most places in Arizona, I would assume you don't. But diesel has got these waxes in it. And once it gets down to a certain temperature, those waxes will solidify or harden up. And it's almost like your gel is freezing. Or not your gel, your fuel is freezing, but it kind of turns into a thick gel kind of consistency, and obviously the engine won't run if that's what happens. So I'm going to try the other smaller tractor over here and see if it starts. Hopefully it does. I would much rather be able to feed today in this 0-degree weather in a cab. But regardless, that one over there has to run because I got to get hay out of the barn over here with that tractor. One unfortunate thing with this small tractor over here, why it would be designed like this, I have no idea. Oh, the glories of not having a cab. That'll feel good on the rump. But this tractor does not have glow plugs. Which is extremely unfortunate in an area like this. Oh, there we go. Doesn't matter if you keep it plugged up, this little dude will start. But if it's not plugged up, it runs into some issues. I'm going to try and pump this one up, because if I can get this one running, I am definitely going to feed with this tractor and not that one. I really hope that this fixes it and that it just lost prime, because gelled up fuel is a pain in the butt. Now, I'm not getting any white smoke like it's getting fuel up there. Well, I'm going to need to do some more pumping. Hopefully, I'm going to give this about 15 minutes worth of my time. And if pumping it again till it's hard and trying to start it again doesn't fix it, I'm going to put my focus back on the hay unroller. Okay, So I think I've got all my tools out and ready to go here. Need to get these hoses put together real quick because I don't want junk going in the ends of those. So what's going on with these hoses is one end needs these fittings put on it so that they will go into the tractor, and then the other end of the fittings are going to go down into this hydraulic cylinder here. Luckily I was able to get this one out really easily when I was at my buddy's place. Hopefully this one comes out just as easy. But let's see if we can get this going here. And while I'm working on this, I'll just kind of jabber. But you know, the purpose of even getting a hay unroller, you know, if you've watched any of my videos where I've been feeding, you've seen me drive to the top of the field up there and top of the hill, and I can just cut the strings on my bale and let it roll down from the top of the hill. And that's great. It's a whole lot better than feeding in a hay ring, which we've got a hay ring out there. But, you know, the reason we've got a hay ring out there, that's not our main source of feeding. We've just got it out there in case we need to feed extra on a night like we did yesterday, which is just, it's so cold they need a little extra feed. That's why we keep the hay ring, is just in case we need to feed extra. And so the purpose of this unroller is so that I can unroll it wherever I want to. So like this field, I don't know if you can even see me at all. I don't think you can. But anyways, this field here where the truck's parked, you know, it's flat. And so there's no pulling my tractor and bale to the top of this hill and rolling it out. I can't do that. I'm just kind of stuck with a hay ring in a place like this, unless I want to unroll it by hand, which I don't. And so with this, you can unroll it wherever you want. And there's quite a few places out in the field out here where we have been feeding that the grass is completely gone. We're down to bare dirt, which bare dirt and wanting to grow grass for cattle is not something that go together. Good soil health needs something covering it. You know, if you care about the soil, it needs to be covered up. And so unrolling hay on top of bare dirt is a good thing. And there's quite a few places, like I was saying, that have really gotten messed up from driving in and out and feeding grain. There's just quite a few places that are bare, and hopefully this is going to help take care of that. I hope, if it works the way I'm thinking it will, and the way I'm sure it will. Gosh, it's cold. These gloves do absolutely nothing, I don't think. There's about 7 holes in them. Ooh! I guess they're helping a little bit. Not much. Okay, one last fitting on here. So while I'm putting this together, I guess I need to give a shout out to Cousin David and Brantley. If it wasn't for you all, I would not be able to do this right now. Just last week or so, I was telling you the track came off of that little traco back here. Well, in order to get it put back on, I needed a wrench that I didn't have. So I went over to Oh man, Eloise's house. Brantley, I asked you, but David, I said nothing to you about coming to steal some of your wrenches. Well, luckily, I haven't given those back to you yet because that's the wrenches I'm having to use now. So, thanks. I appreciate it. Come on. Just come loose. Yeah. All right. Okay. On to the new hose. Hope that's the right fitting. Sure looks like it is not. It would help if I had another set of hands to hold this hose while I got this lined up. Yeah, there we go. One down. Now I really hate that I'm gonna have to do this, but I'm gonna have to start my truck and get in there and heat my hands up because they are numb. I can't handle it. I'm weak. Goodness. Okay, I am back with warmer hands than I had 5 minutes ago. So now maybe I have enough movement in my fingers to get this thing threaded in there, and we will be good to go. As cold as it is and as junky as the tires are on that open station tractor, I'm thinking I'm going to give it another shot at trying to get that cab tractor started, because I really don't want to be out in this mess any longer than I have to. Now surely there wouldn't be two different size fittings on this hydraulic cylinder. I wouldn't think anyways. I think I got it started. I think. No. Or did I? Yeah, I did. Nice. Okay. One more little snug. Check this one. Okay. So, there is that. I'll run those up to a zip tie or something right up through the top of the hitch there. But for now, probably just wrap them up out of the way. Let them kind of hang right there until I get this thing unloaded. So Let me get you off the end there. I'm going to now. I got to move the side by side anyways because it's out here in the barn. I'm going to go ahead and get it, run it over here and pick up the chain, and we'll try and get this thing unloaded. It's blowing her door up there at the top of the barn. Hate for it to break it off. The reason I'm thinking about not putting that unroller on the little tractor is I'm not going to continuously feed with that small tractor, and I don't want to put it on there and then have to take it off and swap it over to that other tractor later. I'd rather just go ahead and hook it up and leave it on for the season if I could. I was talking to Josh about that tractor not starting. He said that it's done the same thing with him, same thing that I was saying it did with me. About once every month or two it'll do it. So I think I just need to continue to try to prime it some more. There's a bleeder screw. I gotta dig out these keys out of my pocket. The way that pump works is you take your hand and push down on that pump and pump that little canister up till it's tight. And once it's tight, there's a little bleeder screw, and you break that and let the air out. And I didn't even do that, so I didn't do it as serious as I should have, I should say. So we'll give that another shot once we get this unloaded, and then it might be time once I get it unloaded for another warm up. It's tough. I can't really tell. That's yeah. I'm just gonna pull the truck out. Hopefully it'll slide right off of there. I hope. We'll see what she does. You all watch for me back there, and I'll creep forwards. Oh yeah. Perfect. What all kinds of stuff did we take with us though? Nothing. Almost lost the fuel jug, but that's okay. Alright, I'm going to ease this thing down, and I'm going to actually take it to the hill over here, this little bank, because the hookup is so low on this. If it's not up on something, I don't think that I'll be able to hook up to it. It'll be flat down on the ground if I don't set it on something. I don't know of another place that I could set it. So I'm going to take it to this little bank, and I think that'll work out just fine. Well, it's been a little while. Had a phone call that took forever, and long story short, got it hooked up, but the bottom remote, hydraulic remote on this tractor, this one right here, it's had this cap in it pretty much since we've owned this tractor, and I think we got it in 2017. It's 2026 now, so we've had it 9 years. I don't think that remote has ever been used, because the only time that tractor gets used for anything with hydraulics, it was to run the hay mower. Gosh, that wind's terrible. And the hay mower only takes one remote, so we never used it. And I can't get the hydraulic hose to go in. The quick connect just doesn't work. So now, and I've tried to prime the fuel on that tractor over there some more still. I can't get it going either. So now I'm just going to have to go put out this bale of hay with this tractor the old-fashioned way, and I guess try to get that tractor going, because this hay unroller will hook right up to it. All the remotes on that one get used regularly, or at least during the summertime they do. And then at some point I'll work on fixing that remote on this tractor, so if I do need to use it in the future, it will accept it. But for now, I'm just going to go roll out a bale of hay and get out of here, because I am froze to death. I can tell the cows are cold, so let's get them something to eat and head on back to town, because it's real cold. As if, I couldn't have one more thing go wrong. The camera just died. It's 2 o'clock. I've been at this way too long, but we got the hay unroller hooked up. It took way too long to get hooked up. Everything was a frozen block of ice. But after a lot of beating and 4-letter words, I was able to get it hooked up. All right, so got the bale just out here. Now I feed 4x4s. The bales that we make ourselves are 4x4s. Now we buy some, have bought some in the past. A lot of the ones we fed last year that were donated to us were 4x5s. And we're going to have to end up buying some. So if you watch here, I'm able to pull this lever here and I can open and close the arms on the unroller here. We are going to have to end up buying some hay though in probably the next month. And they're going to be 4x5s. I have never done this before, so we may fail together here. So far, it looks like I don't know. I mean, I was able to pick it up. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna drive on out here. So the cows are up here eating grain. This bottom, right before it goes down off this bank, that bottom there is real bare. A lot of this in this bottom here is bare. I want to spread hay on the little slope that goes down to that gate that I just came through. And I also need to do it right in here at this gate where I come through. But just for today, just to see how well this thing's going to work, I'm just going to do this flat area out through the base of this hill and just see what it does. Might be extremely easy and it just works perfect. Might be that it takes me a week and a half to figure out how to even use it. I don't know. We shall see. We're going to see how well this goes. Got the strings cut off. I believe I just set her down and it should take off. I don't know. So I was able to get that bale unrolled way over here to this fence line, way over here. It did finally start working just a little bit better. However, I got out and I figured out what my problem was, and that is these forks out here that are supposed to spin extremely freely, yeah, they don't spin at all. So everything's just kind of frozen up and rusted up. So I'm gonna, probably not today, I'm gonna head on back to town today, but I'm gonna get some PB Blaster today and soak all of it. And I'm gonna I'm gonna pop this pin out right here on the end and take a sledgehammer and pound that thing out. Try to clean it up real good and get some of the rust off, get some of the rust out of the inside of it. Might end up having to put a new grease zerd on it, don't know for sure. And then get that spinning free. That's the problem. It just kind of wallered out the core of that hay bale is what had happened. But both of them are frozen up. But I understand why. It's been sitting in that fella's little load yard there where he keeps all his equipment. It's been sitting there for God knows how long, not being used. So makes sense. But the new hoses work fine. We don't have any leaks, so that's a good thing. Now we just need to clean this whole thing up a little bit and it'll be perfect. I might even be able to take my got one of those big, kind of like a big breaker bar. I use it to tamp in posts with. I think I might be able to get it in there, and it's about a 6 or 7 foot steel bar. I might be able to get it in there and get some leverage and break it free, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, see you on the next one.